latest of Alan Wicker's travels. While here on 2, we join Anne Nightingale for Late Night in Concert.
Hello and welcome to Late Night in Concert. Tonight we feature the music of the excellent King Crimson. Since their cult success in the late 60s, the band have undergone many changes, but their founder member remains the legendary guitarist Robert Fripp. Because of his work with people like David Bowie, Blondie and Andy Summers of the Police, he's regarded as second to none in the music world. But it's a world he likes to escape from by spending as much time as possible in his hometown of Wimborne, Dorset, which he considers, rather eccentrically, to be the centre of the universe. But tonight he's on stage with King Crimson. They play a unique blend of music. I think you'll enjoy it.
There were two brothers in Bournemouth, Michael and Peter Giles. Peter was a bass player, Michael was a drummer. They were looking for a singing organist. I was the guitarist who couldn't hold a note to save his life or anyone else's. So I applied for the job and worked with them for a month. And after a month, with my tongue in my cheek, I said to Mike, "Well, Mike, have I got the job?" And he rolled a cigarette, a gold hole burner, Golden Virginia. Very slowly lit it and pulled on it and said, "Well, let's not be in too great a hurry to commit ourselves to each other." So we went to London, lived in abject conditions for nearly 2 years of unemployment, and eventually, over a series of changes, became King Crimson. And suddenly, overnight, the group exploded.
For the court of the crimson.
Good afternoon. It's time that King Crimson extended itself. We would like a new audience so that we can get away from the expectations of our reliable audience. New music, new audience. This is what you can do for us. Now, we have, I believe, a little taster of the left side of the King Crimson album, which is accessible. The right side is excessive. New York works at 3 times the speed of London, and London works at 3 times the speed of Wimborne. So New York has always been a catalyst for me. In 2.5 years in New York, one has roughly the equivalent of 21 years of normal experiencing in Wimborne. So the traditional separation was that in Wimborne I rested, felt secure, had the physical, geographical and emotional base to go out into a situation of complete madness. For me, it's obviously there's a knowing in the blood. If your family has been in an area for 300 years, direct line of descent, father to father for 300 years, the blood is very strong. The blood is essential, and there's a knowing which is in the blood, which one accepts. Robert Fripp is the animal I live inside. This is the creature that I inhabit. Whoever I am is apart from this creature. Nevertheless, the creature has a knowledge, an instinctive insight of this area, a feel for it, which I don't question. I feel that I'm home. I feel secure. This is a foundation in all aspects of my life for the rest of the madness that my life is. In loving remembrance of George Fred Fripp, who died February the 13th, 1888, aged 44 years. This is one of, at a guess, Abraham's brood. My great-grandfather Abraham and his father, my great-great-grandfather Abraham, were both quite prolific. And many relatives extended, went to Australia, all around Dorset. I don't know George Fred, I'll have to ask my father. But he was one of Abraham's brood without a doubt. When I'm in obscure and exotic locations all around the world, all I can think of is getting back to the King's Head, morning coffee with my mother. The first mention of Fripp, the Fripp name in England is 1492. They probably came over with religious persecutions from France. It first appears in Dorset about 1530 at Edmondsham. And the Fripp line direct descent in our family goes back to 300 years to Witchhampton.
Things have changed a bit since your father's day.
Yes, the premises have changed. The council are just about to demolish the old premises on Lye Road. They put a road in by the back of Temple Hall, and they're even going to demolish the Georgian offices at the front. Tony Jones said to me, my father's partner, when I was going to leave, he said, "Why don't you ask Cosgrove if he's interested in the job?" When you were solicitor's clerk then. And I asked, would you be interested in being the estate agent? I bet you've regretted that day.
Yeah, yeah. And Tony Jones seemed like a nice chap, really, as well.
Excuse me interrupting, team. How are the spirits?
A little higher than last time.
Hello.
You've collected a few more rejection slips.
Just a few more on the kitchen wall, really, you know.
I couldn't bring my guitar in. It's in the studio with that.
Oh, Robert.
Andy's.
We've got one you could borrow.
Well, I'm downstairs in 10 minutes in the record shop.
Oh, dear.
That's a new tune, boy. What's that one?
It will be Sunday.
We'll be going in the studio in a couple of weeks to record that one, so...
Need a guitar player?
Well,
Another guitar
We'll
player.
give you a ring, actually, Robert, you know.
You let me know. Who shall I sign it to? John. Is this the first King Crimson record you've had, John? And why did you buy this?
I heard it a couple of times in the 6-1 colony and liked it.
You're allowed to play records?
What is the tape?
This is at Queen Elizabeth. Was it a bootleg tape, John? Thank you.
Come down, I'll give you a demo tape. It's the first time we've been in this studio. It's 3 tracks, so it won't be too long and painful.
All right. Social Science. I've heard of you, actually.
We thought perhaps you may, being in the business, to be able to give us some tips.
Good. Would you like to live in London?
I have lived in London.
Yeah. Would you like to go back?
Yes, I think so.
You got 7
But
years in London.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, isn't it?
It's not so much of a rat race.
If you want to be successful in music in England, you have to live in London. I'm very sorry to say you can't do it from Wimborne. You have to go and live in London.